and that is what we want to showcase on the season. So
Hello, sir.
I'm sure our guest tonight, Sanya Fabiyi, is just trying to get on. I can see that he's trying to connect. All right, I think we lost his feed there. We are going to get him right back up. So let's stay tuned. Let's stay tuned. Let's stay tuned. So, like I was saying, if you know any young person that we can have on seasons, please DM me and let us see if we can engage them. All right, we want to showcase talents, and I don't know how long we're going to do this for, but I'm just so excited about this. The first gentleman that we have on, the young, talented saxophonist, was really encouraged about his story. A 20-year-old young man that
Hello,
is
sir.
making every effort to strive. So that was quite a good one. Then we had the media guru, the uh, the media guru in Tolu Moyan that came and talked about his own outfit, what he does. And then the gentleman we had on Tuesday talking about his fashion empire and his logistics business. All right. Okay, you are welcome. You are welcome, CEO Sanya. You are welcome. You may need
Thank
to
you, sir.
flip, I think you may need to flip your phone a little bit so that we can get you to line up with myself. It's kind of horizontal now. We need it to be we need it to be all right. We need it to be in the same tandem like mine.
Okay.
Okay. So you may need to, yes, 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 that's good. That is much better. That is much better. That is much better. All right. That is much better. Okay. So, but I can't hear you just yet. I think we need to get the sound
Hello,
right.
sir. Can you hear me, sir?
Yes, I can hear you now. I can hear you now. Now you are also a bit dark.
Dark.
We can see the light behind you, which is kind of illuminating into
Okay.
the camera.
Okay.
So if it's
Let me.
possible, if you can shift a little bit, it will work.
Okay. Let me
But if
shift a
not,
bit.
then we'll just make do with what we have. The
Okay.
most important thing is that we can hear you.
Okay.
But I
Let me
believe
try and
that the
change.
people that are
Let me
watching
try
us
and
also
change
will
my
like to see you
location.
well.
Okay. A few minutes.
Okay. All
Okay.
right. Okay. I think this
This
is a
should be
bit
better.
better.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. So you just want to move the camera up a bit so that we can get your image well a bit closer. Then that should be fine.
Okay.
All right. All right. All right. Yes. So how are you doing?
Good evening, sir. I'm fine.
Good evening. You are welcome onto Seasons. Myself and my team and everybody that is watching from different parts of the world. We are excited to have you on our set this evening. We're excited to hear from you, to hear your story. Good evening, everybody that is here. I see Brother Moses Okundano, who I believe is your brother-in-law, isn't it? Then I see Dabuju, I see PAA, I see my team. You are all welcome, and everybody that is here, welcome, 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 welcome. Let us please try and extend this to your friends and let them come on board and watch what we are doing and let them be part of it. Let them be part of it. All right. So you're welcome. CEO Sanya Fabiyi, welcome to Seasons. So
Thank you
tell
very
us a
much,
little
sir.
bit about yourself and let us take it from there.
Okay. Good evening, sir, and good evening, viewers at home. My name is Sanya Fabiyi. Um, I'm a young entrepreneur. I'm from Ekiti State, Nigeria, to be
Yeah, that's
precise,
good.
Efanlaye. Um, I'm proud of my town. I'm proud
Yes,
of
so
my state. I'm also
yes,
proud to
yes,
be a
yes.
Nigerian.
Mm-hmm.
Um, 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 I schooled from University of Ilorin. I have a BSc in chemistry from University of Ilorin. I have a postgraduate in financial management from Ekiti State University.
Well
Um,
done.
I'm an entrepreneur. Basically, I am into agribusiness. I'm into agri processing. Uh, I run a factory where we produce all types of animal feeds,
Wow.
poultry feeds, aquaculture feeds, and all the like. I'm also into um, youth development. Currently, I'm the president of Youth in Commercial Agricultural Development, which is an agribusiness development support organization that helps to catalyze youth into commercial agriculture. And currently, the organization has about 700 members
Wow.
in Ekiti State.
Wow.
And I can also say that to the glory of God, I'm the secretary of the BOT of that organization, and we work in tandem with Ekiti State government to bring support to young people who want to go into agribusiness. So I'm also a member of the Chamber of Commerce. I'm actually the Ekiti State coordinator of NASIMA Youth Entrepreneurs. NASIMA is the Nigerian Association of Chambers of Commerce, Industry, Mines and Agriculture, and the NASIMA has a youth wing which was actually done to actually encourage young people to come into the chamber movement. And currently, I am the state coordinator for NASIMA Youth Entrepreneurs in Ekiti State, and also the regional secretary in the
Wow.
Southeast.
Wow.
So, just by way of introduction, let's among other things that I do, I think I can pause for now. Then, as we
Okay.
move on in the interview, I can talk about some other things.
That's very good. And I like the way you put that you pause for now, because we have so many questions we're going to throw at you this evening. So it's been the manner in which you've just done this to answer, then we cut it, and then we continue to fire those questions at you. Wow. I mean, I saw your resume the other day, and I must say that I was quite impressed. I was quite impressed that as a young man, you've done quite a lot in terms of what you do, the business you do, the agro business that you
Agribusiness.
do, and then the qualifications that you've also earned. I must say kudos to you. Well done, well done, well done.
Thank you very much,
We
sir.
want to celebrate again all the people that are here. Someone is watching from Argentina. You are welcome. Then someone was asking, where are you based? So obviously the person knows you are from Ekiti State. So I want to believe that you also, do you operate your business from Ekiti State as well? Or
Yes.
you cut across?
My business is located in Ekiti State, Ado Ekiti to be precise.
Okay.
And currently, I'm in Abuja to receive a national honor, which is
Wow.
given by the Ministry of Labor and Productivity. My company was one of the 10 that was selected from Ekiti State. It's a national honor, and I want to say that this is also a blessing from God. So
Wow.
currently, I'm in Abuja now to receive that honor.
Well done. Well done. Before you know it now, you will be going to various African countries to receive award. Then you will now be going to Europe and to the different parts of the world
Thank you, sir.
in the name of the Lord.
Amen.
Well done. That is very good. That is exemplary. So you are in Abuja to receive an award. Well done, well done, well done. All right. So if we can take you back, Mr. Sanya, how did this start? How did, of all things that a young man will want to do, to perhaps a young man will want to go to school and then bust out of school and then begin to work? So why business? Why did you venture into business?
Okay, that's a good one. Thank you, sir. Um, my motivation for coming to business was from 2 points.
Mhm.
One, my dad retired as a public servant, worked in the Ministry of Agriculture for
All
about
right.
35 years.
Wow.
My mom was also a teacher, also in the teaching service. And one thing I noticed growing up was that as public servants, as civil servants working in the ministry, I discovered that they struggled to raise us up. The service was not the way it is now. And I noticed, I told myself at a point, I said, with all of the education these people have, their certificate is not even useful for me. And they do not even have a business. So they cannot even secure job for me. And I said, I'm not going to live this kind of life for my children.
Wow.
That was the first thing that motivated. I said, my children must have a choice. The choice will be either to work in a family business that is well established, or they choose to go if they are not okay. But I must be able to provide for them that employment, which is the challenge of an average Nigerian youth. Because I told myself, I said, if their certificate wasn't useful for me, and they cannot also guarantee me a job, then it's going to be a rat race for me to continue in that line. So that was my first motivation for being self-employed. The second one was that as I was leaving school, I read a book by Robert Kiyosaki, Rich Dad Poor Dad, which further buttressed what I had in mind concerning my parents, which was that the educated dad was the poor dad, and the rich dad was the illiterate dad. But the illiterate dad had a business, the educated dad had no business. So the educated dad was the poor dad, and the uneducated dad, the illiterate dad, was the rich dad. This book changed my perception about entrepreneurship. It changed my perception about looking for white collar job. And I told myself as I was leaving school, read this book, I said, I need to toe a different line from what I grew up with.
Come on now.
Also, our state, Ekiti State, to be precise, was a state that people call a civil service state. This was a state where everybody goes to school, and we all come out of school wanting to not tie to seek for white collar job. Unfortunately, because Nigeria is not industrialized, these white collar jobs do not exist. So people naturally want to go into the civil service to go and work, and we are all depending on oil which Nigeria exports to run the civil service. Reading these books and some of the other things that I began to reminisce on, I discovered that I need to create a new path.
Come on.
Which is to be self-employed, which is to create employment. Yeah. And I told myself, in Yoruba parlance, they say, Ishe ọmọ aláṣẹ jẹ, owó ọmọ aláṣẹ là.
That's
Meaning
right.
that if you are going to break through in life, you go into commerce, entrepreneurship. But if you just want to meet your daily bread, just to live for yourself, your daily bread alone, then you seek a white collar job. So all of these things shaped my mind, and I said, what I'm going to do is to be an entrepreneur. Not only for myself, but to create jobs for other young people who will be needing the jobs, because we cannot continue to depend on the civil service job that is run on the oil that Nigeria is exporting. Unfortunately, there is a challenge to oil now. So just to pause now, this is one of the strong motivating factors for me, which is to create wealth, to do something outside of what is being done in the state and around there, and give my children a better life. Give them a reason, if they are going to now decline the family business which I'm offering them, I expect that they want to take it further and help us to diversify into the other areas. But I must provide them with a choice. They must not come out of school and become soldiers looking for job. So these are the background to me coming into commerce as an entrepreneur.
Awesome. You know, I'm so, like I was saying when we started this is the 4th episode, and everyone that has come on board has kind of just confirmed what I was really led to do in showcasing talents like yourself. And from what you've described now, I'm just in awe. I'm in awe of how a young man will think that deeply, that this is what I want to do, and project ahead, not even starting yet, not knowing how you are going to do it, I believe, but yet you had a conviction this is what you want to do. And like you've expressed it, you want to create an atmosphere for your children to be able to either come into it and but have a good choice, and that you don't want to live on stipends and you believe you have something to offer. That is very, very good. All right, so that was established. You established this is what you're going to do. So how did you kick it off? Where did the support system come from? What was your initial investment? And was it because Daddy was working in Ministry of Agric? Was that what led you to start agro business? Or it was just also a passion that came out of you?
Okay.
So how did you start? What was your starting capital? What did you do? Did you buy feed from somewhere, then you sold somewhere? How did it start?
Okay. First, let me say that while we were growing up, because my father was into agriculture,
Mm-hmm.
he was actually practicing. So he used normally we used to rear birds in our home.
All
And
right.
one of the challenges which we had then, which he had, was in the area of feed production. So we always, because the conventional feed, which is well processed and packaged, is always expensive. So we all, most times when we were growing up, he would compound feed. And because he doesn't have the means to do it, we have to go out, buy these materials, grind them somewhere, bring them home, mix together.
Wow.
And while I was coming out, I attended a training. But before I attended that training, my father said something to me. He said the future of the economy and the future of this nation belongs in the industrial sector. He said if you are going to go into
Very,
anything in life, make
very
sure
true.
that you are a producer.
Very
So
true.
while we were going, well, I actually attended a business school. And while I was there, I began to think, I said, this thing my father used to do in a primitive form, then I need to establish a feed processing factory that will produce the kind of feed and better feed. Like I wanted to solve the challenge that I saw growing up,
Growing
which
up.
was in the area of feed production. And I told myself, I said, what is been having challenges doing, I'm going to solve that problem. That is one. Two, by nature of our state, the best thing that any young person can do will be in the agric sector. Because I say naturally that our state is an agrarian state. And I also understand that because the population of a country, the state, keeps increasing, it means that whoever is producing food will always be in business.
Come on now.
So there is a challenge, which is to feed the population that is growing. Now we have land, we have all of these resources. Actually, I had the temptation of moving out of the state. Some of my friends were calling me to come to Lagos, to come somewhere else. But I said, if I'm going to do agric business, if I'm going to do what I actually want to do, the best place for me to do it and have economy of scale will be in my state. Because that
Wow.
state is naturally blessed with land, blessed with a lot of things that will make agriculture thrive.
Wow.
And so when I was starting out, I said it was going to be agric. Because as long as people will give that, as long as the population will increase, I will
Wow.
never be out of business. People will
Come
always
on.
want to eat. So
Woo.
I said I was going to go into agriculture. And like I said, I had the opportunity. There was a state government sponsored program, which was actually to develop young entrepreneurs. It was a program that was put together by the Entrepreneurship Development Agency of the state government in conjunction with African Leadership Forum and I happened to be opportune to attend that training. So that was my first business or entrepreneurship training, and from there I said I was going to now develop a business plan, develop the concept, the note, the plan, the template for me to execute that vision which I've always had. And so I moved on from there. So it was actually that orientation, that mindset, which I translated into action through that program, which to me is one of the best training programs. It was a 3-month intensive program that was run. So I want to say that one of the best benefits that I've enjoyed from the government in Nigeria, precisely in Ekiti State, and I want to say that in all honesty, I want to appreciate His Excellency Governor Sheguni. He gave us that opportunity at that time, and I keyed into it. I benefited from it. It changed my perception about commerce. It changed my perception about business. It gave me that leverage, and fortunately, I leaped from there, and that was around 2010. That was around 2010, and it was a good start for me. It was the right opportunity coming for me at the right time, and that was just it. So I went into agribusiness, and I chose to be in the processing because of what my father said about the industrial sector. So I said I was going to be manufacturing feeds, and along the line also I went into poultry production, I went into fish production, and it's been I want to say that so far so good. We bless God. The challenges are there, but we have moved on. And, I'm grateful.
Well done. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Well done. So you actually you have a factory where you produce.
Yes, I actually have a factory which for those who are following me on Instagram, they can see some of the
Yeah.
pictures of our factory. I have a factory that that has capacity to produce about 6 tons of feed per day.
Wow.
And
Wow.
I want to say that that's a good place to start. That's a good place to start. And so we
Well
produce
done.
basically mostly we produce poultry feed for now. We produce poultry feed. We formulate by ourselves, and we've been getting good response. We brand them, and our products are in the market.
That's
So
very good. Well done.
brother.
So you have an immediate distribution outlet, which is in Ekiti State. Do you also do you export out of Ekiti?
I would have loved to do that, but because of lack of capacity for now, I'm
Okay.
operating with limited funds, and
Okay.
because of that, we are hardly able to meet our supply. So because the materials, we have the machineries, we have the equipment, but to be honest, the working capital is low. To run effectively, I need between 5 to 7 million as working capital to be able to bring in raw materials. The raw materials are expensive, maize, soya meal, and all of those things. So, but I hope that by the grace of God, very soon we'll have our products getting out of the state. For now, we only supply market within the state.
Okay.
But we look forward to a time where we can cover the southwest region and move outside of the region.
Okay. So right now, where do you source your raw materials from? The main ingredients you use for production.
The major raw material that we use is maize.
Mm-hmm.
And this we have a low capacity maize production currently in the southwest in Ekiti, precisely. So the bulk of the maize that we use is coming from the north.
Wow.
It's coming from the north, and mostly they are brought in from the north, and this is one of the challenges with capital. because before you are able to move a truck,
From
most
the north.
because of transportation EU,
Yeah.
the trucks will not move if you are not doing bulk. So you need to be buying about 20-30 tons of maize for you to be able to move truck from around Kano or Niger to the state. And that's part of it. We also use soya bean, which is also in the north too. The north, they have an economy of scale when it comes to production of grains, and maize, soya, these are grains that they produce much, and so it
Okay.
basically comes from there. But we also get locally
Okay.
within, at least when our farmers in the southwest, when they harvest in the state, we buy. So but I would say that about 70%
At the
of the
moment.
raw materials at the moment are coming in from the northern part of the country.
Okay. All right. The next segment we want to get into, Mr. Sanya, is that as a young entrepreneur, without a doubt, there must have been a lot of challenges. So I want to ask you, what were the key challenges that you have faced? So you break it up in these two parts. The key challenges you faced when you were starting up, and perhaps if they still trickle down to the challenges that you face now. You mentioned about working capital and funds for expansion and all that. So I hear that clearly. And the other people that we have had on, the other young men also, they've also mentioned that. And so we're taking a serious note about that. So what are the challenges that you've had to face? And also, the question I also have been asking at this stage is, has the system in any way, has the system helped you as a young entrepreneur? As the structure that we have, as our infrastructure, and all the things that makes for a nation to work, has it in any way helped you as a young person with the passion to run a business?
Okay, thank you, sir. One, I want to say that for any young entrepreneur in the state, especially those in the manufacturing or processing, one of the challenge you're going to face is going to be with power. Nigeria has a very terrible power issue, and I want to say that for almost 5 years, I couldn't solve that problem.
Wow.
Because I needed to install a 3-phase generator of about 25 kVA that could carry the equipment that we have. And this was a very big problem. So one of the major problems that we have in the country currently, which any young entrepreneur in manufacturing will be facing, is power. I've just been able to go around it by getting a generator, but I want to say that means now that the cost of production goes up higher. So
because you have to buy diesel.
Yes, so power is a major issue that we face, and we're praying to God that we'll be able to get technology. Probably if the solar technology can be improved upon on an industrial level. Solar technology at the moment is meeting the domestic needs, but maybe it can be scaled up so that it can actually meet industrial needs. So power is one. The other thing is that which I would say boils to capital, is that as a young person, you find it difficult to access capital in the country. One, because of the way our economy is structured. I remember, despite the fact that I have machineries worth millions, it was difficult for me to raise capital to get a generator or to raise working capital. Why? Because these financial institutions were asking for collateral which I don't have as a young person. They wanted land property, they want all of these things. Basically, I would say that it's not even about those things, it's just that they will not give you funds. The funds that are available in Nigerian banks are meant for the rich, not for startups. So as a startup, you have EU's assessing fund, and this will be a serious challenge for anyone that is trying to come up. We thank God for how far we've gone. We thank God that some of these issues we've been able to move with it, and yet I want to say that at least this is year 2020. Officially, we started the processing factory in year 2011. So I will say that for 9 years, we've been running that factory, and if we will say in Nigeria that if your business can survive 3 to 5 years, then you've been able to scale through. We thank God for that. One other challenge we're having at the moment is with human capital. At the moment, we find it difficult to get the labor requirements for business. Unfortunately, when politics came into the country in 1999, when we returned to civil rule,
democratic rule.
the democratic rule, the politicians began to distribute Okada, bike to young people as empowerment, and this killed the industrial sector. Even the artisans find it difficult to get apprentice. Most of the people who have 1 or 2 skills that would have been useful in the industrial sector to work in factories began to ride bike for daily living. And if I say this, people may not understand until when they are in the field. We know that it's a big challenge because you find it very difficult to get young people to work in factories, and this is a serious issue. So all of them, as they are living, in fact those who trained as artisans, either bricklaying, mechanical works and all of these things, after the training 3 years, leave those jobs to go and ride Okada. So those people who are even artisans now find it difficult to get people to work with them as apprentices, and this, we are not left out in this. So we have a labor gap. Skilled, unskilled labor, there is that gap. And we're only hoping that maybe when this is discouraged, because if we don't do it, we are sitting on a time bomb.
Yeah.
Number one, that is not a good means of transportation anyway. Bike is not a good means of transportation. Number two is that in 2-3 years, these guys get pneumonia, they can't ride again, they are in trouble. Unfortunately, it is a great army. In a city like Ado-Ekiti, you have close to 500, 1,000 youths riding bike. These are people who are supposed to work in the industrial sector for the state to be industrially productive. Now, because of daily income, 3,000, 5,000, these same people now are on the street riding bike. And that is a business. That is something that will not take them for long. So we are beginning to see the ripple effect now. But I hope that in another 5-10 years, when these people can no longer ride those bikes, they are not going to become a liability in the economy. So we have that labor EU, human capital. We have the EU. We also have the power EU. We also have logistic EUs, transportation of goods, moving them from one. You want to move, for instance, in a state like this, you want to move materials from the north to Ekiti, you want to move within, there are EUs. Our roads are not too good. The rail system is not working. So when you are moving goods that are heavy, you have those logistic EUs. And to cap it up, we now come to the financial side of it, which is what every young person goes through, like I said. But to be very honest, I must say that things are better than what it used to be. Now we have government structuring funding in such a way that young entrepreneurs can access. Unfortunately, we still hope that they can liberalize those conditions further so that it can really meet the needs of the real sector. But we must be honest, it is better than what it used to be. There was a time when it was like those funds do not exist. Now they exist. Only that mostly the requirements could be difficult to get. Some of these funds do come, which is why people like us can move from point A to point B.
Okay.
However, if they are better done, if they are more accessible, we can move not to point B but probably to point D, E, F,
and even faster.
And it's going to have a multiplier effect on the economy. Because I believe that if you have 500, 1,000 small scale SME industries, these industries will end up employing 5, 10, 20 people. And when you look at the effect on the economy, you can see it. So we hope that the funding gets better. They create more opportunities for funding. This I know that currently it's being done. It's better than what it used to be. I must be honest. It is better than what it used to be. But it can get more better. We are hoping that it will get more better. So I want to say that when it comes to this, we'll try and we must appreciate government, both at the state, at the federal level. We hope that we'll get more sincere people in power who will actually be looking at the development of our economy and looking at young entrepreneurs who are in business and see how they can scale them up. So we must appreciate there are opportunities for funding which we're exploring.
All right. Thank you for that. And the way you've done, the detail with which you are, answering the questions we're asking you, it shows that you really know, you know your stuff, and we continue to appreciate that. So very quickly, we still have some several questions, so we try and do them quickly as far as we can in the next minutes that we have. So what would you say in a nutshell, very quickly, were your encouraging factors when you started off? You told us now that what the challenges were. So what were the things that continued to encourage you whilst you started off with all the issues that was there, the colossal issues, the small issues, and what were your motivational factors then that kept you going?
Thank you, sir. One, I want to say that the strongest motivating factor that I've had has been my family. The truth is, as a young person, the vision, the hope of my parents was for me to leave school, get white collar job, get employed. So diverting away from that into what I'm doing obviously was a big challenge for them, because not being an entrepreneur, it was a bit difficult for them to see what I was seeing. However, they allowed me, which is the best thing I got from them. They allowed me. We had issues. We had conversations. We had debates over it. But they understand that when I say I am going this way, they knew I had thought about it. They knew I'd made my research, and so anytime it comes and I say this is the way I'm going, they gave that support, and I want to say that has been it. Because if that support from the home wasn't there, probably I would have wandered away at some point. I also want to say that my family provided the initial funds with which I started business. I started while I was trying to set up my factory. I actually started business going into catfish production. And I want to say that as at 2010, I was able to raise a loan from First Bank then, and I also got I got what I would call a grant from my family at that time. My mom, on behalf of the family, did some investment, and these were funds that actually launched me out. So initially, those I also say something that as an entrepreneur you can't be stuck. If you are stuck, it's probably because you're not looking well. So even if I wanted to do something on a scale of 10, it doesn't mean I cannot start on a scale of 2 or 3.
That's right.
Exactly what happened. So I got some support and I started out, and I kept on building upon it, obviously. So that has been it. So those were the strong motivating factors. I also want to say that at some point I got some encouragement from government, which I mentioned the other time. A particular government in the state gave a few young people, we were about 70 at that time, opportunity to get entrepreneurship training. And they brought in the African Leadership Forum, which is one of the foremost entrepreneurship institutions in Nigeria, to train us intensively for 3 months. Costs covered by the state government. As of 2010, I heard that it cost about 250,000 to train at the African Leadership
to train each person.
Each person. What the state government did was to bring the institution to the state, get all of us camped, and it was like a scholarship. And I want to say that for those of us who took it serious at that time, I see some of them doing fine today in the entrepreneurship world. And I want to say that on the part of government, that was a seed that was sown into somebody like me, which continue to multiply. I mentor young people now, people about my age, people a bit younger than me, and I tell them, some of them see me and they think, you got down from the moon. And I say, I didn't get down from the moon. I got from scratch. I started from somewhere, just like you. So I tell them, if we can pass this path and come this way, we are just maybe 10% of the 100% of where we're going.
Yeah.
However, because you are just coming now, you are seeing us like you are seeing 100%. So I tell them that don't lose hope. If you will remain focused, then we can get there. So these are strong motivating factors when you have your family, when you have government. Unfortunately too, you also have governments who come and try to destroy you, try to destroy the entire structure. So you have, so that's why as a business person you don't depend too much on government, because policies can help. Some other policies can also destroy what has been
destroy or dampen.
Yes, so these are things that we've worked around as young people, and I can say that so far so good. We thank God for that.
Well done.
Thank you, sir.
In your resume and from the things that you've touched on it whilst you were speaking now, I like the fact that not only are you an entrepreneur, young entrepreneur, and with the many things that you've been able to achieve so far, and we believe that there's still greater heights.
Amen.
So you speak to young people as well, and obviously in speaking to young people, encouraging, mentoring, and also young people that you have in your circle of influence as well. What would you say are the major challenges of our youths these days? Is it that there's no encouragement for them to also to do business? Are there no jobs? Are there no structure that would help young people to fulfill their dreams? So what would you say are the major challenges that you hear on the field and in all the sessions you've had in the young people's association that you belong to? What are the major challenges? If you can answer that real quickly, and so we can touch on these next 3-4 questions very quickly.
Okay, one, I say structure.
Mm.
There is no structure, and that I want to say that one of the things that prompted me to join the Chamber of Commerce, which is the apex body for the private sector, is what I just mentioned. It is only through the Chamber of Commerce that any young entrepreneur will be able to forge ahead without getting mixed up. The political psyche in Nigeria is a negative on youth. You find a lot of young people today coming up and beginning to talk about politics as a means of livelihood. So there is a great disorientation, and if you as work with somebody that interacts with young people, you understand that there is a negative psyche where people know that there is frustration, there is hardship, and they think that the only way out will be for you to be in politics, either for you to support a candidate, for you to, they just believe that that is the only way for you to make it out of it. And unfortunately, it is so because our leaders see the young people as political tools for winning election, for mobilizing during election, without any real genuine interest, love, agenda to take them out of it. They just want to create a recycling system, which is unfortunate. And you know, when you relate with young people and you see this disorientation, it's a very big trouble. So first, we begin to talk about now reorientating them. Also, another thing is the fact that every young man wants a secure job. So every young man wants to be in a job where he earns pay. Unfortunately, the Nigerian society, our states, are not industrial states. So what they do is just to employ young people into civil service that is run on Nigeria's foreign exchange from oil, which is not a good system. So if they are not channeling funds into developing the industrial sector, they can only employ a few, maybe 1/10 of the youthful population. Then the army of 9%, 90% is on the streets. So there is frustration, which will naturally breed insecurity. So when we relate with youth, we see all of these issues. Also capacity. You see that there is a lot of capacity gap in the youth. People go to universities these days, people go to school, they are trained on syllabus, on schemes designed, used in Europe 20, 30, 50 years ago. And coming out, these things do not meet the challenges of the present day. So when they come to the field, they are not, some people say they are not employable. But I have always challenged those people. But the truth is, the system keeps breeding out youths that are unemployable. So now there are a lot of schemes to now build capacity. So it's like somebody going to university for 4 years, coming out to come and do training of 6 months, 3 months, to now get all they lost in the university. So people now come out, and it is what they get trained on in 3 to 6 months that they actually live the rest of their life on, not what they were taught in the university. Of course, the universal knowledge remains with them. It breeds discipline and a lot of other things. So the capacity thing is there. Vocational skills. vocational skills which actually will relate with industrial development. There are some everyday needs of a society that anybody who is able to meet those needs will be creating value, creating wealth in the system. And these are things that young people need to understand, that there is value to be created, there are needs, there are gaps.
That's right.
Anybody that is able to meet those challenges will be able to do this. But another thing I also say is that we have a lot of people in Nigeria today who are doing capacity building and training, who are doing entrepreneurship training, people who have never traded before. People who have not been in business. I used to tell people, if you have not been in business, if you have never taken a loan before, if you have never defaulted in a loan before, how can you teach me how to do business? The greatest risk you ever took in life was to take a loan to build your house, was to take a loan to buy a car, and you are going to repay over the next 3 years from your salary working in a secure system. And you come and profile me, you come and interview me. That's because you are in a civil service system. It is you that will tell us how to run business. We have these gaps which frustrate young people in business. People who work in banks, who come to interview you when you want to take facility, and when you speak to you, I wanted to take a facility, and I put it that I was going to get a generator. And the people who came, who were supposed to be professionals, who claimed to be professionals from the bank, threw out my generator, said I will not need a generator in a society like Nigeria where we don't have power. And I was stuck for almost 7 years because a single person took a decision to strike out generator from my funding. So we have these challenges, and this can be very frustrating for young people. I'm just talking from the practical side of it. So these are things that frustrate young people. The Chamber of Commerce, the movement that we have, especially the Youth Chamber of Commerce, what we try to do now is to now encourage young people to come together using cooperative structures to access funds, to get training, to build capacity. However, we still operate in a society where things are seriously skewed against the young people.
And that's where we're going. Our belief, our prayer, our effort going forward is to begin to narrow down all the issues as such as you have raised, and then to trust in practical ways that will begin to address these issues. And that's what we are galvanizing to. For some of us that have a passion, that believe that the greatness of our country lies in the talent and in the use and in the exposure of the young ones. And we trust that God helping us, we are going to make that happen. Amen. And we are very, very proud of young ones like yourself, with the way that you've handled yourself, with the way you have you've run your business against all odds and still going further. All right, 2 more questions as we close this evening. Tell us in a very quick summary, the Nigeria of your dream. In a very quick summary, what would you say is the Nigeria of your dream? The Nigeria of your dream that would allow you to run your business, thrive. There will be challenges, but what is the Nigeria of your dream?
Okay. The Nigeria of my dream is a society where you don't have to know anybody to become somebody.
That's right.
A Nigeria where there is fairness, where there is equity, where there is justice. That will be a better society for every one of us, where people have access to what they want. I want to say that one of the things I've advocated for is a Nigeria with a very good social security system. I believe that if we have a good social security system in this country, it is going to stem down corruption. It is going to stem down corruption in all forms, where the commonwealth of a nation goes into providing access to health care, access to shelter, access to basic needs. These are things that are absent from the country and makes everybody want to cheat everybody to get
That's right.
everything. Until we address this issue, where the wealth of the country that is supposed to spread around, which is concentrated in about 5%, where these resources are put into real social security system that guarantees, why should a pregnant woman not have access to health care? If there is no job for a young Nigerian, why should they not be able to at least have a living allowance? In Nigeria, nothing is free, nothing is provided, and because of these there are issues. So we look forward to a society where there is justice, where opportunities are available for people who want to explore without any form of influence from outside. Where there is equity for you. Once you have a vision, where you are able to actualize it, where students can take educational loan and pursue courses that they want to pursue, where people who want to go into business are able to secure funding for business.
That's right.
Where land is available, the land tenure system, the land structure system in the country is very, very, very chaotic. So as a young person, when you want to even start up, if your father does not inherit land, you are in trouble. And yet, land is supposed to be in the custody of government. So until all of these things are made right, and these opportunities are available, where government understands that it owes the citizen,
that's right,
a duty to provide them with better life, then the citizens can now give back. Because a country that doesn't make any provision for you cannot demand tax. That is why people don't pay tax. They are not getting value. Somebody has schooled from primary to secondary to university. He has come out up through his life. Government has not been able to support in any way. So when we get equity, we get justice, and we get fair opportunities for all, that will be the Nigeria of my dream.
All right.
I believe with that, everything will be possible.
Okay. I mean, it's been amazing having a conversation with you, Mr. Sanya, Brother Sanya, CEO Sanya, and we are so proud of what you do, what you have done. And I just want to really commend you and to say that you are showing the example of the exceptional youths that we believe we have in our great country of Nigeria. And so it's been a joy having you on Seasons this evening. And I look forward to when we will still be able to engage you further for what you are doing and what you have done. So from all of us from this end, we want to say, well done. We will have fielded some questions this evening, but for the reason of our time, you've said so much this evening regarding the challenges you've had to go through as a young person. Okay, fair skin with technical education, all right. As a young person, having overcome all those challenges and still being able to continue to run your businesses. You've mentioned the various technical challenges, soft challenges, and even medium challenges, funding, and all those things. And we hear you loud and clear. And it continues to be our prayer that the Nigeria that you've just described now is the Nigeria that we are all going to see in our own generation. Amen. By the grace of God. So we want to say to you that please continue to fly the flag, continue to be a good example, continue to be an excellent example, one that is not cutting corners, one that is not saying, you know what, I don't want to do this again, I'm tired, good riddance to Nigeria. But for people like you, and even you are in our capital, Abuja, to receive an award, it says so much about your person and your spirit. And our prayer is that you will continue to be encouraged, and we continue to pray that you will continue to excel in everything that you do, and your business will continue to thrive, even in the name of Jesus. So well done. Kudos to you, and we commend you. From all of us, we say well done, and God bless you. So if anyone wants to very quickly wants to get to know what you do, can you tell us where they can reach you, your IG, your IG page handle, where you've told us that your business is everywhere. So if there's any other information, please quickly give that to us now before.
They can reach me at my IG Instagram handle is at Sanya Farms Fabiyi. Also, we have a website, www.sanyafarmsgroup.com. Also they can follow me on Facebook. You can follow me on Facebook, Sanya Fabiyi on Facebook, and on Twitter too, Sanya Fabiyi, and those are my handles, and
okay,
I'm always available.
Well done.
Thank you very much.
Well done.
A nice time talking to you.
Same here. Same here.
I want to appreciate you for having me on the show tonight.
You are most welcome. You are most welcome. We're glad to have you. And like I've said repeatedly, we are grateful for young Nigerians like yourself that are doing exceptional work. That is what I just have a drive to do now, to talk to people like you, to encourage people like you, and to showcase people like you. That is essentially my drive right now. And I'm grateful that I've had someone like you to speak to this evening. God bless you and well done. Amen. Right? We can't wait to have you again. So thank you so much, and congratulations again. Congratulations again. Say us well to everybody in Abuja, and let them know that we are blessed to have people like yourself making our country proud. Okay? Well done, well done, well done. God bless you.
Thank you, sir. Yes,
have a good evening.
Okay. All right.
Thank you. So there you have it, folks. Thank you for being with us again this evening. We are looking forward to the next episode on Tuesday, where we will showcase again another young Nigerian that is doing exceptional works in our society and our nation, and projecting excellence and projecting good works. We look forward to that. So thank you so much, everybody that is on this evening. I see several people that have joined in, and people that will still watch this later. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And please, wherever you are, let us continue to encourage our young ones. Let's continue to encourage them not to give up on their dreams, on their passion, to continue to be a voice, to continue to showcase their talents and their dreams. And together, by the grace of God, we will see the Nigeria of our dreams, the Nigeria that is structured, the Nigeria where there is great infrastructure, encouraging young ones, encouraging the talent of young ones, providing an enabling environment for young ones to thrive. We are going to see that Nigeria by the grace of the Almighty God. So please continue to encourage young ones, and let us continue to trust in the Lord that we will see it happen even in our own time. So thank you, and God bless you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And we look forward to having you again on our next edition. Thank you, and have a good evening. Time. So thank you, and God bless you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And we look forward to having you again on our next edition. Thank you, and